All right, so
I have to give you a little bit of credit for this.
Yeah, we can overdub it later. Just say
Haven't had any crazy stories about. Oh wait, no, I do. I got robbed at gunpoint, mugged.
Good for me, but I ain't checking for them. No.
it's sleazy real estate, guys. But all right, so EP podcast episode number 3 here. I have a very good buddy here. His name is Jesse Lopez.
What's going on?
Buddy growing up here. Happy to see you. Happy to have you. Thanks for being here on so short notice. It is a Monday. We typically record Friday evenings, but it's Thanksgiving week. I am off from school, and I figure why not pump out the podcast. So here we are. And Jesse, thanks again for being here. Welcome.
Thank you. Talk about a sudden invite, man. You know, talk about a sudden invite. Last minute.
It was literally 3 hours ago. I was looking at my calendar and I realized that there was a school this week, and I'm like, dude, you know what? What else am I gonna do? So let me just pump out the content here. And we typically do once a week. Now we have 3 podcasts scheduled for the week.
Look at that, content on top of content on top of content.
And I think this YouTube thing, this podcast thing, or any content creating thing, it's a thing of momentum, right? And you wanna take advantage of the momentum any chance you get, because if not, then you just start falling behind. So I kind of just wanna pick myself up here. I'll be honest with you. I was a little down coming into it because I don't know. I think I might be coming down with something. I don't know. It might have just been a long weekend. Yeah. But business needs to be taken care of. So here we are.
My man is pulling through.
Here we are.
Just stay 6 feet away, all right?
Yes, sir. All right. So, how are we looking over there? Good. Okay. So,
yeah,
talk
man.
to us.
What do you want to hear about?
Let's start like as always from the top.
The origin story.
Our origin story. What's our evil villain origin story?
Oh man,
who poisoned our cafeteria food?
Well, I don't think anybody poisoned our cafeteria food. Maybe our food downstairs in the break room.
Yeah.
So I think you might hear this a lot on the podcast when introducing to some people. But I met Emilio at the WCC, the Wilmington Country Club.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
I think a lot of your friends, a good amount of your friends, like met you through there.
Yeah. It all started there.
Do you remember what year? I don't remember what year.
I want to say 6 years ago.
6 years ago?
So what are we, 22? So 2016.
2016.
You trained me on my first shift as a busser.
I did. I remember you training you. Yeah. But
do you recall that?
I do, yeah.
Anything in particular?
I remember telling you do as I say, not as I do. And maybe something happened that...
I think actually, and you just reminded me, I think this is the first time I ever heard this saying, and you told me, you said, work smarter, not harder. That stuck with me forever because now I'm a bum and I don't like to do anything complicated. And anything that becomes hard, I'll just hire it out.
Yeah, man, you got to let other people do it for you sometimes.
Hire your strengths. Hire your weaknesses and, there you go. Build on your strengths.
Yeah, so we met there.
I'm kidding about that, by the way. But something in particular about that first shift.
What?
Do you want me to?
Yeah, let me know because I don't remember.
So I remember our first shift. So we met. Everything was great as a busser, and I remember you were teaching me how to pick up them big trays.
Oh, and I dropped the tray.
No. Hold on.
Wait. Was it my pants? That's right. I was telling you to squat low and from down because you had if you don't know about serving or being like a server assistant. You put the trays on these stands, and they just sit there.
Right.
So you kind of have to squat underneath them and pick them up and
right.
And so I was showing my mans the moves, the get down. And my pants just ripped it.
Oh my God, so tough.
What did we do?
Tough.
Did we?
You ended up just reversing your apron.
That's right.
So you took it from the front and then just did the maneuver on the back. Kind of went like the dad sweater. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the dad
sweater.
Just hey man,
tie it up.
Listen, MacGyver over here.
Hey. But no, I remember when we were both busters at the club, man, there was some real
long
it was
nights.
hustle.
Long nights,
a lot of hustle. I remember we would compete to see who would have the highest
heavier trays.
Highest tray. And to the point where management had to tell us to ease up. and the members will look like crazy shocked.
Yeah.
They would like stop in the middle of dinner and be like,
Well, I remember like you or Tyler or somebody had those trays bending almost.
Mm-hmm.
I never got to that because fuck that. I'm not doing all that. But some of you guys were bending the trays. Oh no.
Yeah.
Dash Adam. That's who it was.
Do you know he got married?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that's
I
crazy.
saw that.
Great for him. Congratulations.
We didn't get
Adam.
an invite to the wedding.
Oh, buddy. Hey,
but
it's all good. James
I'm
did,
just
though.
kidding.
James
Yo,
did, though.
James did. James
though.
did.
It's all right. It's all right. I love them both.
We love them both.
But Jack is also here. Jack is in the background. You want to peek in real quick?
Look at that, man.
So Jack is in here. And I remember Jack also even started his own little competition. But the thing is, no one would compete against him.
Well, I was the only one bending trays.
Yeah, he was the only one bending
trays.
Yeah. So Jack had his epic episode last week. So last week. So, it's good to see him again as always.
Look at that smile. Look at him. He's got some. Look at those pearly. My shiny teeth.
He said, "Oh, stop."
Shiny teeth. Shiny teeth.
But yeah, I mean, it was long shifts, working hard. We worked our butt off, and we were definitely proud of our work ethic.
I mean,
definitely pride in there.
I make this joke all the time. I was like, I think my first child that I have is gonna be sent to the WCC for just some work ethic there.
No, well, yeah. Well, I guess it also depends on the environment itself, right?
Yeah.
No comment.
Yeah. Very well said.
But we also used to always go to this taco spot over in Pennsylvania, right?
I haven't been there in a grip. I don't even know if they do the 24. So the cool thing about this taco place,
put a little closer to you.
the cool thing about this taco place, is that it's 24 hours. So we would show up there at like 2 o'clock, like 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes.
Yeah, the tacos were delicious. I mean, we were up like about 4 to 5 of them at once.
Just for the tacos.
Maybe 6 if we were really having a long day.
Yeah. It got to be like on some cloth talk type stuff because we would get off. We would
just have the longest conversations.
Yeah, to and from. Yeah.
About even if it's just complaining about our shift,
That's
typical work stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, Jesse. I mean, I've known you for a long time now. I mean, it's been
half a decade, man. A little bit over.
Yeah, maybe a little bit over. Yeah. So
there's a lot to talk about.
So what are you doing these days? What are you doing?
Well, there from the WCC, I left. I got into the hospitality industry.
Mm-hmm.
I remember living on my own for a while,
mm-hmm.
and like when you go and you pay rent to your landlord, when you're like living like a rental complex, they have offices there. And so I would just remember walking in and I'd spend 15 minutes, 10 minutes after I paid my rent, just talking to them, just bullshitting. And the full timer, I guess she put in her 2 weeks. And sure enough, like the landlord, the landlady, the manager at the time, she goes, "Hey, like I need a new agent here in the office. Like you sound amazing when you talk to us. Would you think about going into like leasing?" And sure enough, I was right then and there. I was like, I mean, sure, I'll try it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that kind of got me my foot in the door into like the hospitality, like property management.
Are you still doing that?
Yeah. 2016 it started. Yeah, we kind of have been friends since before 2016. I'd say like 2015 maybe.
Yeah. And even before that, we were rivalries.
Yeah.
Because you went to McCain.
I went to McCain. He went to
Dickinson.
Oh, man, look at that. From rivals to friends.
Yeah. Well, depends on the day. But, no, yeah. So what's that? What's that? Like, what's the best and worst thing about it? What are the pros and cons?
Well, people always ask me, like, what's it like being in property management? And I tell everyone in like 2 quick words, it's like babysitting adults sometimes.
Okay. Why is that?
Well, the cool part is like when you get applications and you're getting new people in, you're approving people, you're letting people know, hey, like you got a place to stay with us.
Mm-hmm.
But you're kind of the mediator sometimes at days. Like, some residents have issues and you kind of have to go in there and you have to be the middleman, and you kind of got to tell some residents to go to their room and you got to tell other residents to go to their room.
Yeah.
And just kind of like everybody needs a time out. Yeah.
So how long have you been doing that now for?
4, 5, 6 years now.
6 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're like experiencing this. One would say.
Yeah.
So
based on that,
are you able to give like maybe like 3 bullet point, like key advice as a property manager that maybe someone's interested in getting into?
Yeah.
Would like to know.
Pros,
Like do's and don'ts.
do's and don'ts. Don't be afraid to talk to your like leasing staff, your office, if you have any issues. I mean, we're there for a reason. So like, if something's going on, they like if you have a problem, they say like first try the neighborly approach. Talk to your neighbors, and then talk to us. Some people like.
Is this from a tenant standpoint?
From a tenant standpoint,
Okay.
yeah. Like if you have someone above you and they're making a lot of noise, or someone next to you, take the neighborly approach first. But if not, like come to the office. Like we're there for a reason. We'll help you out. Like we'll talk to them for you, and it's all anonymous. So that's why some people are afraid of like calling, because they're like, oh, they're gonna rat me out. They're gonna say, so and so snitched on me.
Yeah.
It all remains like anonymous. Nobody knows anything. Like we're told, well, not we're told, but we're trained to like keep it professional, quick, and like anonymous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that way nobody kind of gets any malicious intent behind it.
What about don'ts?
Don'ts. The biggest don't. I'd say always just keep your apartment like not necessarily like overly tidy, but just keep it clean. Lease violations go out there, and that's one of the weirdest ones that we have to give out sometimes.
These violations?
Yeah, like
Okay.
like uncleanliness violations.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So do you guys like occasionally go in and check
Once a
things
year.
out? Once a year.
Once a year. Once a
Okay.
year.
And is this in the contract?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like we go in and we do two things. We change the air filters.
Oh, cool.
We changed the smoke detector batteries, which now newer buildings, they don't need the batteries. The
Right.
company does that for you. But since we're in an older building, we're still switching out the batteries. And then they ask you if you need like any maintenance. And while you're there, they inspect the unit.
The ones I use for my rental properties are like these 10-year batteries.
Yeah.
So they're a little bit more expensive, but it saves me the having to constantly turn them. Replacing it with the ones that only last like a couple of years. It's maybe like $10 more cheaper than like the standard one. I mean, $10 like more expensive than the standard ones, but it saves kind of trouble. Like it's a convenience at the end of the day, right? So okay, that's cool. So you guys replaced the smoke detectors, the air filters. Okay, and what else does that consist of? Because I mean, I think the biggest thing here is, and you can tell me if I'm wrong here, is when we're talking from a tenant standpoint, is when you finish your lease and you want to leave, you might want to collect your security deposit.
I think that's
right?
the goal for everybody. Yeah, because that's a
okay.
big chunk of change for some people. I mean, like for us, it's equal to 1 month's rent. So some of these people are like dropping like a stack and a half, like almost like 2 bands for like a deposit sometimes.
Yep.
So I mean, when I move out, I would want that like towards new furniture in my next place, or hell, like even as a deposit towards my new place.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I remember I haven't rented in, I think now 3, if not 4 years now, but I very vividly remember one of my friends that was in the property management or landlord business. He specifically told me, like, clean everything up as best as possible. Like if there's any damage, like try to like make the best of it as you possibly can. Like if there's like a tiny hole, fill it up and put all those things on it that's available like at your Home Depot or Lowe's. And then just to get that security deposit back, because what they do is before they end that lease, they'll go with you, I imagine, to the apartment, and they'll like write down what needs to be charged, if anything at all.
Yep, and typically like you give your keys back like right after that. So like they'll go. They're not assholes about it either. It's usually just wear and tear. Like, they don't charge wear and tear. It's like only like really extreme stuff. But yeah,
like if there's holes in your walls or stuff like that.
That's another good point.
Intentional damage, like stuff like that.
Yeah. But that's another good point. Like once you're moving out, just keep it as clean as you can.
Right.
Fill in the holes. And I think people forget, but most of the time you do have a move-in inspection sheet. So reference that. That way, like when you get your refund, you're not getting charged for something that was already there.
Yeah. I remember you've been giving me like advice like here and there about being a good tenant for like a while, and whenever even like the property manager felt like I felt like they weren't doing too good of a job as a tenant.
Yeah, you have rights as a tenant.
Yeah, right. And I remember you would tell me in a PDF file, the Delaware Landlord Tenant Code. Yeah. And I'll be able to just review all those things like whenever something wasn't right. And it was like, what's it called, breaking the law in some way,
Yeah.
it kind of becomes like a breach of contract, right?
Right.
Because as a landlord, you have to provide a livable situation.
Yep. So you always have to have
Right.
like serviceable water, like clean water, drainage, sewage, like electricity if you provide electricity, like all the necessary stuff for like you said, your place to be habitable. And then the last one is for applicants. The biggest places usually are looking at like 3 times to like 4 times monthly income. Sometimes some places are 2 times, but just make sure like you have your finances in check. For those that wonder, it is a hard pull on your credit when they do run your credit.
Okay.
So
okay.
that's something that
Good to
not
know.
a lot of people know.
Is there any way to avoid that? Does everyone require that, or is it just like a select number of?
I think most like big big name property companies require it. Private like landlords, maybe
They're maybe more lenient.
Yeah, some of them you can pull your
Right.
own credit and say, hey, I already pulled it. Here
Right.
it is. But the bigger ones, they're like, no, we got our own way of pulling credit.
Are you? I don't know, like if you're able to or not. But are you able to share like a really bad experience, like dealing with a tenant or something like that, like something so crazy? If it's allowed, of course.
It's not that they're crazy. It's just that some people feel it's like a sense of entitlement, I think.
Okay.
Which to some extent you are entitled. You
Yeah.
know, you do pay a good chunk of money. But there's also that business aspect to it.
Yeah.
So one of the most like difficult situations I've been, we had a resident. He wanted to install a bidet. And if like you don't know what a bidet is, it's like this thing that washes it washes your ass after like you're done.
Essentially,
Yeah.
Very famous, like in the European countries, right?
Like out there,
Yeah.
So he wanted to install one. Which if you want to install one, sure, no issue. All we ask for is that you have like a professional technician install it, and that you revert it back to its original state once you move out. But he didn't have anybody professional to do it.
Okay.
That was the first thing. And he wasn't understanding of that. He wanted our maintenance to do it. So now we're like at 5 minutes trying to explain it, and he decides to come down to the office.
Okay.
And now he's like, all right, like I'll have a professional contractor come out. Professional contractor comes out, and it's like, he's like, all right, I'm going to install this bidet. And we're like, okay, cool. But you have to agree. There's this thing called a contractor's agreement form.
Okay.
And you're just kind of saying that like you're liable if anything gets damaged on the property. You have to cover.
This is from the tenant to the property manager.
This is from the property manager to the professional, the plumber, plumber that was going to do the work. And once he saw all of like our contractor stuff, he was like, I ain't touching it.
Yeah.
No. And so he left.
Yeah.
And now the tenant, he got, of course, you bring somebody out to do a service and then they just leave. I'd be a little bit like upset too. So now he's upset. But what was crazy about this point is that my man kind of like there's the saying tree huggers when they hug the tree and you have that like where the bulldozer come in and he's
right.
Okay. My man put himself between the office door and like our exit, and he was like, I am not leaving until I have my bidet installed.
Oh my.
And so like now it's like an hour. We're like probably like 20 minutes from closing, and now we're like, the office is closed. Like you are now stopping us from like leaving.
Right.
And he got, I don't want to say he got irate, but he did get a little bit more like stern. Like, I'm not moving. Like, you need to fix this.
Yeah.
And like me and my coworker, we were like, bro, like we closed 20 minutes. Like you are keeping us from going home. Like we are about to call the cop. And thankfully it didn't get to that point where we had to call the cops. But like he was just very like in our face about it.
Jeez. Well, so what ended up having to be done here?
We didn't install it, and
Okay.
he had
SOL. Huh?
He had that SOL that day. I think later he had it installed by a different guy.
Okay, but he ultimately ended up doing it.
Ultimately, yeah.
Okay.
He was just an asshole about it that day. Other stories include like residents that I've become friends with.
Okay.
They passed away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Brazilian. They were teaching me words. And as like an immigrant, I mean, I'm sure you can relate to this. You kind of, want to create like an inner family of like people when you're first here in the country. You don't know a lot of people, or at least like you can relate like when you move to like a new place or like a new state or like a new hometown. Right. You don't know anybody, so you just want to.
I feel welcomed in a way.
Yeah. And so I think I made him feel that welcome. Mm-hmm. And his name was Jose Suarez, and his wife. They both moved into one of the properties I was helping manage, and yeah, we kind of grew a relationship. I was there for like a Christmas with them. Yeah, because he passed away in February. That Christmas, they gave me gifts. Feliz Natale for those Portuguese Brazilians out there. Merry Christmas. Yeah, like 2 months later, he suffered a heart attack and he passed away.
Was he older?
He was young, dude. Really? He was like in his 30s, 40s.
Really?
Yeah. The wife, not knowing kind of like what to do, kind of called me first. And so I had to call 911 for her. Oh, my God. Yeah, she found her husband passed away. Oh, my God. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Other stories include seeing a person ODing in a car in our parking lot. This was my first property. Person was indulging in some nefarious activities, and they were ODing, and I was doing a property check, and my property manager ran out, and yeah, she knew exactly what was going on, and she was able to get to her in time.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow. So how do you stomach all this? How do you deal with it?
Well, you're not trained for like anything. Nobody's like, this is what's gonna happen. This is what you need to do. I think the best thing to kind of remember through that is just to remain calm. Yeah. And it's like, I won't take anything that's heavy to home with me. Yeah. You know. But it's not like that. Like, how should I word it? I think like as the days go by, like it's like a 9 to 5, you know, sort of type of thing. And like, I don't know. I've never really been asked how I can stomach it. I just kind of like do, I guess. You know, I guess that's what the weekend is for.
You kind of roll with the punches.
Yeah. Right? Well, yeah. I'm very like stoic in that sense. And like I kind of roll with the punches. If something positive happens, cool. But if like something bad is happening, something stressful is happening, cool.
Give and takes. Say give and takes at the job.
Yeah.
That's interesting, man. 6 years. That sounds like a lot. Yeah. So you've also told me about how you venture off to these other jobs, sometimes from one day to the other. I don't even know how you have the time for these things. So you want to give us like a couple of them that were very interesting?
Very interesting. I went to my first bat mitzvah a couple weeks ago. So I cater. I'm a server at a catering company. And anything from like weddings to baby showers, bat mitzvahs, bar mitzvahs. I had my first one. Bat mitzvah. Dude, it is crazy. You think quinceañeras are crazy, man? Bat mitzvahs, bar mitzvahs are probably just as crazy, and they are a little bit younger.
Really?
Yeah, you know. There's this whole like party. They're not party, but the like celebration. I'm not too keen on the terms. I'm a little bit ignorant, but like they put the kid on a chair and they're like lifting them and they're like party. Like that is so lit to me. That sounds fun. And they have this like I forgot. Well, I mean, I guess it was just part of like the party, but there was like this dude designated to like throw the party, so like he had games and stuff, and like we have nothing to do like once like the dinner is out, and clearing everything, so like we kind of started partying too.
Join him? Yeah. You joined him? Oh man,
so that is pretty cool. That's pretty fun. I got to work Firefly with them too. That was pretty cool.
Okay, that's awesome. How was that?
So it's a whole day event. I didn't go the whole week.
For those that don't know, what's Firefly?
So Firefly, and I don't know, where is it?
Is it in Dover Downs or something like that?
It's near Dover.
Yeah.
It might be near Dover Downs because people I think stay at Dover Downs. But anyway, it's near Dover. Here in Delaware. Dover's our capital. I am saying that right?
Yeah,
Dover's the capital of Delaware.
Might be.
Right? Yeah. So
we'll have Jack fact check this.
Cool. Yeah, check. Fact check us, please. Look at that. We don't know our own state capital.
Hey, man.
So it's like a big festival that they do. I'm not sure if it's our only music festival.
It is.
It is.
Yeah. So Dover is the capital of Delaware, huh?
Look at that.
There you go. Well, Delaware's so small; it could be its own capital. You know. Yeah, right.
You pick any city, it could be the capital.
Right.
So that was cool. You were there the whole week. You could stay there the whole week if you wanted to.
Okay.
Like, people camped. How
hard was it?
The people that worked all week,
yeah.
I mean, some of those people ended up like dead. Like they were like zombies. Like by like the last shift.
Not literally.
Like
dead.
not literally dead. No,
Okay.
Yeah, like some people were pulling doubles, and I was like, Jeez.
But do you get to like go to the festivals or something like that?
Yeah. So that's the cool part. Like when people aren't doing like doubles, and I guess they did doubles so that they could have whole days off for the festival.
Yeah.
You can chill at the festival while you're not on your shift. So like after you're done, you can enjoy, and they give you elevated passes because
I was gonna ask, is that the compensation, or is there compensation and that as a bonus?
There's a compensation and that.
Okay, that's
so
awesome.
You get access to like everywhere where the artists were. So I was like in the back where the artists. If you didn't know, artists have like barbers and stylists like on demand in the back of these festivals.
I'm not surprised.
So like a lot of these people, like my coworkers, were getting haircuts from.
Okay,
the artists.
But the coworkers have access to that.
Yeah, like we.
Wow.
There was like a little kiosk where puppies were just there, and like you could just hang out with the puppies.
What?
And so all the artists were there. It's cool. It's like they have these amenities. Like they set up like a pool table, a ping pong table. There was a big like VIP bar back there. People just lounging out, chilling.
That's so cool.
There was like a graffiti artist like tagging up T-shirts. For people that everything was free there, being like in behind like where the artists were.
Would you do it again?
Yes, I would. Hells yeah, and I don't think I would necessarily pay as much money for some of these VIP passes if I can find a way to work these festivals.
Okay, do you think that's like the play to do?
Yeah, I think that is the play to do.
Volunteer and enjoy it afterwards.
Yeah, because I did the same thing for Sea Witch.
Okay.
The Sea Witch Festival. So Sea Witch Festival is another festival in Rehoboth.
Okay.
For Halloween.
This was recent, right?
Yeah, recent.
Yeah.
So I worked the parade. It's like a mile down and back, and for that there was like a mimosa table set up. You had like breakfast.
Okay.
And then afterwards there was like a big party at a restaurant.
Oh snap! That's awesome.
Yeah, like working these festivals, that's pretty cool.
Hey, you guys wanna like volunteer to an event or something next year?
Because we all did that fine dining stuff.
It's easy. Like,
Right up our alley.
yeah,
we should totally do that one year. Like just volunteer for a music festival and then just, we're
doing a Firefly next year, guys. You guys said it.
We're trade vendors, so we can take the heat.
That's what I'm saying. It's probably a good way to like talk to people and meet people too.
But you guys would do so well because my first day there, they had me as a busser.
Okay.
And like nobody uses the trays there. And I went out with the tray. I like slammed it down, put it on there, and I'm just like loading up plates. And like another busser came by and he takes the plates and he puts it on the cocktail tray, the small trays, the circle ones. And I'm like, no, wait, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm taking these plates back. And I'm like, no, take those back. But you
please tell me you were wearing more flexible pants that day.
Yes, I was. Though pants have not stopped ripping though.
Okay. All right. Are you shopping at the same place?
I think it's just the amount of age that I have those pants.
Okay,
right?
well, as long as they live their life.
I need new pairs. I think is the answer.
All right, but mark that on our calendars. We'll volunteer for Firefly next year.
Yeah, we're doing Firefly next year. And then I do deliveries for a pizza store. Is Seasons local just to us here in like Delaware?
I have no clue.
So I'm not sure if I'm not sure if everybody enjoys Seasons, but like it's a Delaware.
But Seasons,
like,
isn't
Maryland
that the one
thing.
with the $5 pizza box? I don't know. Isn't that the one?
I'm pretty sure Seasons is only in Delaware and Maryland.
Okay.
So that's another little jewel we have here. I work there. I deliver pizzas. That's pretty fun. You just kind of go in. It's funny. I like throw on a podcast and like I'll just listen to the podcast, or I'll pick like
you throw on the EP podcast, right? Is that the one you do?
Well, I think that's the only one to play on. Like when you're delivering. What do you mean?
Of course.
So like I'll throw on a podcast, or like I'll just like watch or like listen to a playlist. And yeah, like it's pretty smooth. I mean, I enjoy driving.
Yeah.
I think during our shutdown in like the spring of 2020, I would just go out and just like drive.
Really?
Just to drive. Obviously.
Well, gas was so much cheaper there.
Yeah,
too.
you could do it.
You're maybe a little bit more hesitant these days.
No, now if we don't have a reason to drive, we do not. We will walk.
For sure.
All right,
For
we will do public transportation sometimes.
For sure, man. For sure.
And that's pretty chill. I haven't had any crazy stories about. Oh wait, no, I do. I got robbed at gunpoint, mugged at gunpoint delivering pizzas. Did I tell you guys this? No, you know that story.
You briefly told us that. Yeah.
So this was last Christmas. I remember it was a couple days.
By the way, sorry, because you said Christmas. There's this place, in Wilmington that's a seasonal bar. I forget what it's called. It's
Yes, I know the owner. It's called
I think
Rudolph's. It's a reindeer.
It's a reindeer.
It's a reindeer.
It's a reindeer. It's one of the reindeers.
Rudolph.
Just look up all 14 of them.
It's one of the more famous ones.
Yeah.
On Dasher, on Prancer, on.
Yeah.
It's a Rudolph.
But it's very cool. It's like 2 rooms. I think they're doing a block party. I think like next week.
But so he owns a couple more places though. It's not just that. He owns a small cafe there near Trolley or close to Trolley.
Okay.
I forgot the name of that, but that's really good too.
Yeah.
My point is he knows what he's doing. So
Good stuff. Good stuff.
So I got robbed at gunpoint there last Christmas. I remember it was right between Christmas and New Year's. And so I had a large delivery order. And you can kind of sense when things are off.
Yeah.
Because the first of all, like the bill note, sometimes when you deliver, you have these notes, and it was like bring change for like 100, and it was like an $88 bill, balance. So I was like, okay, like they might be paying with like a bill for like $100 bill. So I did, and there was no parking. I remember I parked like half a block away, and I go to the guy that it was addressed to, and he answers the door pretty quickly, and it was this older gentleman, and he's like, I didn't order any pizza. And so that's kind of like when I started getting unnerved. And you look back on it sometimes and you're like, I should have done this, I should have done that. And like at that moment, I should have just called my store and should have asked what to do. Yeah. But I actually called the customer and I was like, yo, I'm here. I think I have the wrong address because the dude said he ain't ordered no pizza. And he was like, and the guy on the phone was like, oh yeah, well, I'm right around the block, no worries. And so I see this guy, they're in a party of 3.
Yeah.
And one guy veers off to the side. And now from what I look back on, he was checking doors to see which ones were unlocked.
Really?
Yeah, because the 2 other guys like rushed me and they came up and they pulled out their gun right away and they were like, do you know what this is? And I looked down and I was like, oh shit. And they're like, yeah, give us your money. And I was like, I don't have much money. I was a little bit more nervous, a little bit like more tight. And so I started fumbling around. I don't remember if they dug into my pocket or if I gave them my money, but they got my money that I had with me. They took my pizza. It was a big order. And then they wanted to grab my car keys. They were like, yo, give us your car keys. And like when you have like a gun like on your stomach, 2 guns on your stomach,
for sure.
I was like here, and my car was far enough away to where when they were pressing unlock, none of the cars beeped. Oh. So they got frustrated.
Okay.
And like there was another Honda. I had a Honda at the time. There was another Honda there, and they thought it was that one, and it wasn't unlocking. So like at that point, they asked for my phone. And I don't know why, but that is the one thing that I did fight him on. I was like, yo, you ain't getting my phone.
Yeah.
And like I yanked it from them back. And at that point, like the other guy had started checking the Honda. I just said that was like when they were checking the black Honda out. And like I remember when they turned away, I like called 911 right away.
Yeah.
And like right away, I was like, "Yo, I'm being robbed." And I guess they heard that because they dipped right afterwards.
Oh shit!
And they like threw my keys. Police officers came shortly after. A tow company had to come in and like break my car open because we didn't find the car keys. All of that for like $60, $70 worth of pizza.
So people are robbing people at gunpoint for pizzas.
Yeah, but I was so upset.
So good the next will rob you, apparently.
I was so upset the next day emotionally. My friend picked me up and she was like, "Yo, we're about to roll a couple blunts and like, you know, and have some fun." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And so we live near this place called the Riverfront for anybody listening. And so we went to the Riverfront. The Riverfront is literally what the name says. It's just a riverfront with like restaurants. And there's like this walkable area there. That day, there was what I had thought. I had just gotten robbed. So you can imagine I'm like on like my spidey senses. Anybody's following us. I'm like looking behind. And there was this one character. He kept looking behind and he kept following. And he was following the smoke. He was like he was, I'm not sure if he was homeless or I'm not sure like if he was just having a rough time, but he caught up to us and he was mute. So he couldn't speak. And through sign language, I was able to say like, my name is like Jesse. And I was like, what's your name? And
do you know sign language?
I know some, like I know like my name. I know how to say like I'm sorry. I know how to say like thank you, fuck you.
That typically what follows after thank you. You know?
I know how to say like ugly, like phrases.
Yeah.
So he was astonished that I knew at least how to do my name. And like he then like kept pointing to like the blunt I had, and I was like, yo, I was with my friend and I was like, I think he wants to hit it. And so like I offered it to him and right away 3 people rotation.
Jeez.
And like that was enough to like make me forget, like, dude, you had just gotten robbed like a day ago. And I was like, this man, like, because he was so cool, like, and all he wanted to do was like enjoy a smoke,
just hang out,
and hang out and vibe out, and just talking to like somebody who can't vocalize like what they want to talk about and say.
Right.
I got that. Just like was like, I guess enough to like switch my mood.
That's awesome, man. That's good stuff, man. A lot of stories.
This
man's been through it all.
He didn't tell the story yet.
What the?
Are you comfortable sharing that story?
Listen.
I mean,
I'm comfortable telling all stories. My life is a book.
Just so everybody could get just to set the scene here. It's think of the Hangover, and when they lose the one guy that's supposed to get married. I think that's the best way to put it, minus the wedding.
Yeah, minus the. But yeah. So, what is this? 2 years now?
No, it had to be like 3-4 years ago at this point.
3 years?
3 years ago, 3 if not more. Yeah, it was a long time ago. But I had put together a trip to Ocean City, Maryland, right? Great place. They're very well known for the one bar, Secrets. It's like on the beach, on the sand. You can get your drink served on the water.
I still haven't been there, by the way. Back.
Oh, you haven't?
No, we were supposed to on our.
Have you been there at all?
No.
At all.
At all.
Jeez, man.
No, So.
He never. He never made it.
Wait. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. So all right. So I put together a weekend. Call it a getaway to Ocean City, Maryland, with all the guys.
Yeah.
And
supposed to be a bro week. Or like
yeah,
a bro
it was
weekend.
a guys weekend, guys beach trip to and then to Ocean City, and we stayed at this place called Princess Bayside Hotel, and which is literally crawling distance from Secrets itself. Literally crawling distance.
Like when they say you could probably like crawl.
Yeah. Like you could literally be in line to answer secrets, and you can see the hotel like right in front of you, kind of thing. But anyways, it's our first day. The place has a route, so we're pre-gaming on the way there.
Yeah.
Where we stop at Costco at first. We get a few canned seltzers, Kirkland, shout out Kirkland, and then we start pre-gaming a little bit on the way there. We get there, we check in, we go to the rooftop pool, we hang out there, we pre-game a little bit more. We go back to the rooms once we're able to check in.
Yeah.
And we do a little bit of pre-gaming there.
Right.
So a lot of pre-gaming going on.
Yeah, if you've heard words, pre-game has been said quite a numerous amount of times.
At least 3 times now. So we eventually make it to the game.
No, we make it to the dinner. Don't forget about the dinner.
To the dinner. Where did we have dinner?
We had dinner at the one.
Was that
restaurant.
the same day?
Yeah, the one restaurant.
Yeah.
Because we had the.
Is that the
beachside
one where I was?
Yeah,
I got carried away with my spending.
Get carried away.
Yes. Okay. So, oh my God. Yeah. I'll never forget this. So
Emilio has a tendency of going from like a comfy, moderate pace to just like impulsive 100. You know, on like some overdrive type stuff. You know, like we're just chilling. That day we were just chilling one moment, like sipping regular alcohol, and then all of a sudden. These 2 bottles of what was it?
Hold on. But let's backtrack a little bit.
Let's backtrack.
We were all gonna go to dinner and then party at the end of the night at Secret.
Yes, that was.
So we go to dinner to what was supposed to be a sports bar. The line was too long, so it was like a 45-minute wait.
Yeah.
So we decided to just go to the place next door. The place next door was more like fine dining, more fancier, a little bit more upscale.
Yeah.
And we were definitely not dressed up for it. Right?
No, we were not.
And so we go up to the spot. We go up to the hostess. We ask for a table, whatever it was, 5, 6. And then she asks us. This is one of those places that you typically have reservations for.
Yeah.
And she asks us, "Do you have reservations?" And we're like, "No." Immediately, there's like a look of like you're less in her face.
You don't have
you don't have a reservation. Like kind of thing like that. And I'm like, oh no, you didn't. No, you did not. Right? And I'm like, and mind you, my ego gets the best of me sometimes when ego is not your amigo, and it's definitely not my amigo after I have.
That was where the cookie crumbled.
Yeah, that's where the cookie crumbles. So we get in there. I'm like, I'm gonna show her. I don't need no goddamn reservation where the hell I'm going, right? so we go in there.
I'm gonna buy all y'all dinners.
Right? So we go in there, right? And I look at the menu. I say, all right, I'm not even gonna look at the top. I'm not gonna look at the top. I'm not looking at the middle. I'm going straight to the bottom because typically how they list these things is by price. Yeah. Right. So I'm like, I want the lamb racks. I want the filet. I want this. Everybody gets steaks, right? Yeah. And I'm like, it's a guy's weekend. It's a celebration, right? So I'm like, you know what? Let's have some fun with this, right? We start with very basic. Order like the basic level champagne.
Yeah, I remember our friend. They had like surf and turf too. So we were all up there.
Yeah. We were going at it. And then after that, I'm like, bet. All right, now let me work to the middle grade stuff here. So let me go to Vouv, right? And Vouv is good, by the way. I'm just meant like middle of the menu. And then we went to Vouv, and then after that, I look at the bottom. I see Moet, not Moet. Dom Perignon. Dom Perignon. It with like a $400 tag on it. Right, I'm looking at myself. I'm having like an inner monologue. I'm like, should I do it? I'm like, yeah, she fucking do it. I immediately thought about her face when we were at the stands.
Talk about an origin story. That was your origin story for the trip. That was your villain story.
Yeah. And then I look at I tell the server to come over here. I'm like, look, I want this bottle here, but when you bring it, don't show the guys. Just serve it and then place it on the table and with the label facing outwards. So she brings in the best bottle I could get my hands on in the building. then she puts it, and then she's like, "Oh, what?" You guys are like, "What the hell's going on? Like, what did he order now? What did he order now?"
Because we know his
I
antics.
was being very ignorant. I was even telling Tyler, "Oh, this was not good enough. This was not good enough." When he was saying that it was, and I kept going, "Say, fine, then we'll get the next best one." Right. So then she pours it, and then she puts it down, and then you see obviously the what's it called, the shield, the Dom Perignon shield, and it's like a nice $400 bottle, and we're essentially running up like I want to say like a $1,200 tab here.
Yeah.
Right, between dinner and all the drinks and everything, and then I try to be nice, so I trip anywhere from like 20 to 25%, and then the girl was great. So I mean, and again, who wouldn't be great with that kind of bill?
Right.
So with that, she gets a $200 bill. So yeah, my dumb ass was like, she wants to give me that face. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna show her. I'm gonna spend $1,400 in this bill. I showed her, but the bank account wasn't too happy about it.
You showed her.
I showed her.
She was like,
Matter of fact, they were so upset. They told me to come back. That's how upset they were.
They got a picture of you on their walls now.
Yeah. So part 2 of that was.
Wait. So let me just bring it back to the folks.
Yeah.
So if you haven't been paying attention now, that is champagne, the seltzers.
Oh yeah.
Me and my one friend, we enjoy and we like our tequila. So we were dipping on tequila.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of mixing. My point is there.
Yeah.
So
we're like 4 or 5 pre-games in.
Yeah, and what is funny about this is we make it back to the hotel, and like we're our final pregame, and you're going over the dress etiquette, the dress code etiquette. If you guys don't know, Secrets has like a dress code after
a certain time.
A certain time. And
very minimal though.
Very
just
minimal.
Don't wear like a
Nothing
plain
crazy.
white T-shirt.
Yeah, and
don't wear an undershirt. Don't wear a tank top.
and so we all get ready. We're all pre-gaming. We all make it down. And literally, what Emilio just said: don't wear a plain T-shirt.
Yeah.
Don't wear a tank top.
A plain white T-shirt. It needs to have at least a pocket.
That was what I chose to wear.
So of course Jesse is the first thing
and
he
like
does.
mind you, like I had clothes for the whole weekend. So the fact that I picked the only thing that didn't get me in was like fucking hilarious.
Yep.
And so I think you guys got in no problem. You guys, I think.
Oh, let me see. You don't recall this part too well. So I'll walk it through real quick. And I think the camera cuts off at 60 minutes, so we're gonna bring it home soon. So we all get ready. We walk up to the line. Typically, you get ID, right? Yeah. Everybody shows their ID and all that stuff. You're like the last one in the line from our group. And then the guy keeps telling you, "Show me your ID. Show me your ID."
Wait.
You pull out your phone. You keep pulling out your phone. Hey man, so I'm trying to do damage control here. I'm thinking I'm trying to make up some BS story here, so that's like nothing goes sideways. And the guy is like, and he starts getting irritated. He's like, all right, man, you know what? He's like, get the F out of here, right? He's like, get the F out of here, right? Because you kept showing your phone when it wasn't your ID. So we let you go, right? So we don't let you go, like we step aside and we're like, all right, Jesse, like, because you were already like beat, like at that point, right? You were done. You were TKO'd. So we're like,
I don't think quite. Yeah, I still remember some of those moments.
Okay, some of it. So we're like, just go to. I kid you not, guys. I mean, we're like, I'm not good with distance in terms of feet, but
they were pretty close.
We're talking like a 2-minute walk, not drive, not helicopter ride, not boat ride, a walk. 2-minute walk. You can see the hotel, right, from the entrance of Secrets, and the next morning you're not there.
So you guys.
So we're immediately going to hangover mode, like Hangover. We start freaking out. We freak out, right?
No. But
well,
you guys had breakfast, all right? That's not quite freaking out. That's
we had a team meeting.
Yo, we lost one of our homies, but we got to be fueled up.
No.
We got to be fueled up.
Before that, we weren't sure we weren't sure if you went out somewhere real quick or whatever the case in the morning. That's what Juan did. Juan went skateboarding in the morning.
I'll give it to you guys. Props on the homies. My homies were like, yo, what if my man's is just getting some cheeks and he just hasn't come home?
Well, that was probably like at the bottom of our list. But, but there's always that 1%.
No.
I'm kidding. But no, so like when we wake up, okay, so when we wake up, my cousin starts calling nearby hospitals, nearby police stations by your first and last name, Jesse Lopez. Nothing comes up. So we decided to carry over the conversation over to breakfast, which was literally right next door. Sorry, what?
Apparently my government is not my government.
Yeah, so we go through it there, and we're it's like an hour or two passes. We're at the point I asked the question, guys,
what if he's been human trafficked?
Are we comfortable enough at this point to publicize this and ask people if they have seen him? Right, because we called everywhere and we're not finding you, and they all immediately said no. So we continue the meeting over back to the hotel, right? And then that's when all of a sudden you call Juan, and you tell us,
yeah. So kind of to get back on the like just walking from the secrets. I remember just being like brushed off or like told. I'm not sure if I can remember being told no, but I just remember being shoved off, and I remember going, oh shit. And I kid you not, I was trying to walk to the hotel. Mm-hmm. That's where I thought I was walking. Mm-hmm. But at some point, I blacked out.
Yeah.
And
maybe we should save the other details, though. the other details of what actually happened from, maybe we should save that.
So, yeah, I ended up in jail. Yeah,
he calls us and tells us that he's in jail. He just got out of jail.
I got picked up.
And mind you, Jesse was wearing all white that night. Right. So we pick him up. All of a sudden we see this guy with long hair and beard at the bus station with one shoe missing, all his clothes dirtied up. And yeah, it turned out that Jesse had gotten a free bed and breakfast in a nearby jail.
I did. Yo, they are like 5-star.
5-star. Yep, you're gonna leave a 5-star. Yep.
Listen, I got fed while I was in there.
Yeah.
I got a blanket while I was in there. God. Oh man. I had somebody who was a return visitor there as my like cellmate. So it was cool. I wasn't with somebody, just like myself.
You were with a local.
What was going on? Yeah, I was with somebody that knew what the hell was going on. Yeah. Okay. I still did not sleep with my back turned towards him, but I was comfortable.
Is that something like he suggested you don't do?
I think just culturally that's suggested.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay.
I wasn't comfortable enough to do that, but I was comfortable enough to just close my eyes. I wouldn't say that I was comfortable, but I did.
You made the best of it.
Yeah, I made the best.
You made the best of it. But yeah, man, that's our Ocean City story. That's our hangover story.
Yeah, well, I have plenty more. I have another hangover story too.
Yeah,
but there's no time for it.
We could save it for another episode.
Oh, look at that.
So we'll give you a reason to come back, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Jesse. I mean, anywhere people can find you: Instagram, Facebook, MySpace,
Instagram. I am _ JLo.
JLo. Okay. Anything else you want to shout out or anything like that?
Yeah. Just this week we had a lot of passing of our stars. I want to remind people, if you got something going on, talk to somebody, if it's professionally or just with a friend. There's somebody out there that's thinking of you always. So just remind that. RIP to our Power Ranger and RIP to our Batman, man.
Yeah.
Pretty sad stuff.
Yeah. There's always someone out there that cares and loves about you.
Yeah.
You're not alone. All right, well, Jesse, thank you so much,
Thanks for having me, man. It was a pleasure.
Love hearing your stories. Love spending a good time, man.
You'll hear more, no worries.
I can't wait to see you again. All right.